Hey, hey, hey. Hello, 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 and welcome to this edition of Office Hours with Lanora. I decided to stand up today because we have so many chances now to be sedentary and sitting down. So, standing at my desk, wanted to pop in today. This is our fourth and final Office Hours with Lenora for the month of January. Remember, I mentioned that I would be coming every Wednesday this month to help kickstart our new year. So I hope everything is going well for you, that you're continuing to stay safe, that you are starting to slowly check off a lot of your to-dos, as well as visiting, revisiting, and making decisions on the things you have not started to accomplish yet. So on this edition of Office Hours with Lenora, we will discuss the top questions that I hear prospective students ask, as well as those that have recently earned a license. So our newly licensed individuals, those questions that I get from them. So hopefully one of them is a question that you have and we get that one answered. Remember, Office Hours with Lenora is my way of connecting with prospective students, as well as those that have started on their real estate journey and currently taking a course, pass on the first attempt, and then those that have been in the industry for a little bit of time, stay in the industry. So the three objectives of Office Hours with Lenora are what I just said. So let's get right to it. The very, very first question that I always get from most people that are calling and interested in starting a career in real estate is, where do I start? They want to know, where do I start? How do I get the party rolling to become a licensed real estate professional? And part of that conversation, maybe I've had it with you, or if you are interested in learning about opportunities, I would begin with, what do you want to do? Do you want to help individuals that are seeking to lease a place to live, like a residential leasing agent? Or are you most interested in just helping everybody, whether they're buying, selling, or seeking to lease, especially if it's residential, commercial, or all facets of real estate? Then that would be more of a broker pre-licensing course. So we start there, and then the conversation continues. I learn a lot more about you, your why you want to become a real estate professional. I learn what your schedule is, as well as your motivation to get it done. Is it an urgent need, or is this something that we're planning to accomplish at some point this year or in the near future? So on and so forth. So we talk about all of that. That's usually the first question. Where do I start? Question number two, and I'm looking down because you guys know I take really good notes. Question number two, especially right now under the current social distancing and pandemic environment that we're in, the question usually is, how do I take this type of course? Can I be in a classroom right now? Is it safe to do it that way? What about these virtual classes that I keep hearing about? Or I'm the type of person, some students will say, I like to work by myself. I don't really need an instructor to do the work. So we talk about those options. As of right now, and tentatively scheduled through the month of April, the Realtors Real Estate School is only offering the course, whether it be a residential leasing agent, broker, managing broker, even continuing education, designations, and certifications. We're virtual. So we will not be meeting in a classroom setting at this present time, at least through the month of April. So around May or so, before then, we'll kind of have a meeting of the minds and put our heads together to determine if it's safe enough for us to be back in a classroom setting and open up the doors again for our lovely school. But as of right now, we have three options. The first option is that webinar format, where you have a live instructor, quite similar to a Zoom, but we use the go-to training platforms as well as Zoom to deliver our courses. You have that instructor right in front of you on your computer. You'll have the ability to ask your question in real time and speak your question so that you both, the instructor and other students, can hear it. And it is on set days and set times throughout the week. The second option would be you logging into our online platform and completing the work independent of an instructor, but at your own pace. And if it's a pre-licensing course, we can give you up to 6 months to get that work done. Now, please do me a favor. Don't take 6 months to get it done, because that's a lot of information that you need to remember and retain. And I want you to have the best shot at passing your pre-licensing or licensing exam on the first attempt, because as soon as you get it out of here, you can go take your exam and hopefully retain it well enough to pass. The third option is also an independent learning type of platform that we use, or mode of course that we use. It would be the self-study course. And the self-study course for our residential leasing agents, they get 90 days to complete 15 hours of coursework. The brokers get up to 6 months to complete their 60 hours of coursework via self-study. You still have to finish up a remaining 15-hour interactive course. But this way, you'll get a physical book and paper exams shipped to wherever you tell us to ship it to, and you work independently again of the instructor. So right now at the Realtors Real Estate School, we're virtual. So webinar, online, or self-study are the options. The third question that I hear from most prospective students that are interested in taking a course is, how much will it cost? Do you accept financial aid? Are there any scholarships that can help me with taking my course? And even if there is a scholarship, will it pay in advance or is it reimbursable? Good questions. I know, I hear them a lot. So how much does it cost? If we're looking at a webinar format, and we'll talk about leasing first, for the residential leasing agent course, hint, hint, one starting on February 4th and 5th, so next week, if you're interested in that course, that webinar 2-day course is $240. For a 90-day self-study residential leasing agent course, we're looking at $190. When we move over to the broker side of the table, if you take the mode of a webinar and you take all 75 hours that way, it's going to cost you $704. If you choose to take one of our online packages or complete your broker pre-licensing course via online, where you're working independently of the instructor at your own pace, there's a range between $610 to $700. So the $700, $685 amount course is pretty much all 75 hours plus a study aid to help you prepare for your licensing exam. $625 to $610. $625 is you taking your last 15 hours in that webinar format or a classroom if that option exists. And the $610 format is you doing everything virtually online, never having to come into our building to complete your course, okay? So the self-study option of the course for brokers would be $625 for all 75 hours. Okay, next question. We're getting through the questions. I have about 13 of them. So question number 4, students would like to know, can I schedule my licensing exam before I complete my course? Nope. You're not eligible at that point. And the last thing that we want to do is take an appointment time from someone who has committed to the process, completed all of the required hours and coursework, and now they're eligible fully to take this type of exam. And they can't get an appointment because someone who might be in the course and almost done, it's not done. So you have to wait until you have completed either the required 15 hours, for the residential leasing agent course, or the full 75 hours for the broker pre-licensing course. At that point in time, I know if you're attending the Realtors Real Estate School, we will ask that you take and wait an additional 24 to 48 business hours. So Monday through Friday are business days. Give it 24 to 48 more business hours for us on the back end in the administrative roles that we're in at the school. People like myself process your completions through the proctor for the state. Let them know that you're eligible. Upload the proof and documentation to the state. And then you're going to get 2 emails. The first email is going to say, congratulations on completing your course. The second email is going to say the exact same thing, but it's going to have 2 different dates. The first date is technically 2 years from the date that you completed, that they received notification of your completion of the first 60 hours or the first 15 hours of your leasing agent course. The second email, if you're a broker, leasing agents will get 1 email from the proctor, brokers will get 2. So on that second email that says, congratulations, you've completed your course, that's for your 15-hour course. And it will have a date 2 years from the time that you completed your 15-hour course. You do need to go within the 2 years, whether you're a leasing agent student, a broker student, or even a managing broker student. Your transcript is only valid for 2 years. Please don't be like a lot of people that I've been talking to or during the past summer, when the pandemic initially started up until now. The rules changed, and the governor and AMP and IDFPR, there were some changes basically made where the transcripts went from 4 years to now 2 years. And a ton of folks got caught up because they had not taken the exam or they had not passed the exam within that window of time. And when the change took effect that made the transcripts now valid for only 2 years, they were null and void. They have to start their course over again because they waited too long to take the test. So don't you be one of those individuals. Make sure you go right away. Schedule your exam and hopefully pass that exam on a first attempt. Okay. Question number 5. For students that are considering, the questions that I hear from students the most: how do I pass the course on a first attempt? Thank you for asking that, so many people. How do you pass the course on a first attempt? Open these up, limit this as much as possible unless it's one of those questions that your instructor or the course has not covered. So I often say, listen, take in as much as you can, especially if you're in a live webinar setting with the instructor right there, passing out those tips, the techniques and the tricks to help you pass on the first attempt. Stay out of the mindset of overthinking. Overthinking only makes you anxious and nervous when it comes time for you to take the actual licensing exam because you didn't pay enough attention listening. So how do you pass this licensing exam on the first attempt? You listen, you open the ears, you reserve a lot of the questions, usually for the end or when they're most crucial and important, because at some point the instructors are going to cover what you need to know to successfully pass this course. But if there's several interruptions for things that are not necessarily deemed potential questions on the exam, we will flow right through and pass those questions and let you know, let's table that conversation for another time. So stay on track, take really good notes, be observant, listening, as well as make sure you're using a good study aid to reinforce everything that you've been taught. So those study aids could include Exam Smart, it could include CompuCram, it could include Real Estate Exam Pro, written by our very own Mr. Leo Schwartz. Those are at least 3 study aids that I know is a collection of questions, that it's a pool of questions basically that you can practice from to help prepare you and reinforce everything that you've been learning throughout your course, okay? So good ways to pass on a first attempt: prayer, That always helps. But it's also, you have to condition yourself to be ready to take a test. You're not going to go in and slam dunk this type of exam when you have the nervous jitters and the bugs jumping all over the place because you are scared of math and you don't really like taking exams and you don't know why you subject yourself to it. Save all of that. Go in, take the test, be focused, sit there, concentrate, move quickly through your exam. Don't go back marking questions to go back and return and trying to answer those questions. Make your first answer your best answer, as well as make sure that you're finishing your exam in that timely fashion and that you're not going back changing answers. That's a usual telltale sign that you're doubting yourself and that you're about to possibly change an answer that could be right. Okay, so let's move now to the questions that newly licensed individuals may have, and I often hear those individuals ask me. So question number 6, can I apply for my license before I have a sponsoring broker in mind? Nope. Wonder why? Because as a newly licensed individual, you have to be sponsored by a real estate company. So that office that you'll be joining will be deemed your sponsoring broker. You're under the umbrella of that office. So everything that you're going to be doing, all the business that you'll be writing, the training, the education, the relationships you're going to establish as a new person that is newly licensed in the real estate business comes from that office. So you have to attach your license to a sponsoring broker. Yes, once you successfully pass the course, you're going to get a form that says congratulations, apply for your license by going to IDFPR's, which stands for the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulations website, and apply for your license. Pay your fee. Well, you can't really do all of the steps, and if you go there before you have your sponsoring broker in place, it's going to stop you. You're going to get to a point where you can go no further in that application process because you have to have the sponsoring broker information. So I say start interviewing with the sponsoring broker companies that you have an interest in. Then make a decision on who that sponsoring broker is. Talk to the administrative staff and or the managing broker that you choose to start working with and let them know that you want to submit your paperwork and get started. At that point, they're going to tell you what to do. Some of the offices, like the one I initially joined, they did it all for me. All I had to do was submit my payments, and that's how it went. But they're going to double check and hopefully make sure that you're submitting everything and onboarding with that office correctly. Okay? So just get your sponsoring broker in place first. Question number 7. How do I even find a sponsoring broker, Lanora? You do your homework. You do your research. You ask the individuals that you may know that are currently in the business what their experience has been like with their office, with their company. You look in the areas that you would like to work, and you're going to have to find those real estate companies that are pretty prominent in those areas. For me, I know when ultimately I was deciding upon what real estate sponsoring broker I wanted to go with, it was important to have it centrally placed close to my home, as well as I had a school-age daughter at that time. And I wanted to be close enough to get to her school in an emergency if I needed to. I also found that having, for me, a facility or an office where my clients could come and park their cars without a fee to come into the office to meet with me was important. I also wanted to have it to be more community-based. Some people want to start in downtown areas. I wanted to be more of a residential broker, to have that first-time home buyer, family-friendly backyard type of office that made it comfortable for people to come and meet with me. I also wanted to have keys to the front door of that office. so that if I worked late nights or on weekends and I needed to work with a client, I didn't want to have to go to Starbucks or any other type of, let's sit down and let's talk about business establishment, or even my home for my own personal safety. I wanted to be in an office space where I could let myself in and out and turn the alarm on if I needed to, but as well have that professional feel to be able to conduct business. So how do you find a sponsoring broker? You look in the areas that's going to work best for you, and then you visit those sponsoring brokers, whether it be virtually. Right now, a lot of the offices are not readily open, so you might have to meet either over the phone and talk to that sponsoring broker first, or virtually meet them via a Zoom or another platform to be able to physically see each other. But I always and highly recommend that you do an office visit to make sure that it's a good fit for you. Okay? Question number 8. When do I become a realtor? Keep in mind, part of you joining that office will mean that you will be joining the same real estate associations that office is affiliated with. So your sponsoring broker will drive the membership process of your new license and you becoming a real estate professional. So you're going to talk to your sponsoring broker, and they're going to say, hey, we belong as a member to the Chicago Association of Realtors. That means you'll be coming back as a member of on the membership side of the school, because we all know that the Realtors Real Estate School is a direct division of the Chicago Association of Realtors. And on the CARR side, Chicago Association of Realtors acronym, there are over 16,000 members. So that's a compilation of managing brokers, aka sponsoring brokers, leasing agents, appraisers, mortgage professionals, affiliate members. Those are the makeup of the association. So you're responsible for paying your membership dues when you come on as a member. Your membership will cover the local Chicago Association of Realtors, the state, the Illinois Realtors, and the National Association of Realtors at the national level. Only, as well as your MLS dues and other voluntary contributions. Only after becoming a member of the National Association of Realtors can you call yourself a realtor. So make sure you're asking those questions. Hey, when will I become a realtor? Am I joining the local, state, and national associations as a part of my membership? Okay. Very next question, question number 9. How much is it to join CARR? I won't give an actual figure today because I don't know if you're joining today. But what I will say is the amount is prorated throughout the year. So as of October 1st of every year, there is, I was trying to find the paper. There is a membership dues that each one of the members that are part of the Chicago Association of Realtors, they pay. So there are payment arrangements, or at least 6 installment payments that can be made if you don't have your full 1 year amount to pay all at once. So you can spread it out over 6 installment payments that are scheduled through the Chicago Association of Realtors membership department. So you can definitely reach out to 312-803-4900 and select the prompt for membership, and one of our fine, established, well-versed membership representatives would be able to go over the numbers pertaining to when you want to join the association. Each month it's prorated, so that number from October 1st through September 30th of the following calendar year goes down. So check with one of the membership representatives or membership care staff members, and they can definitely help you learn about those numbers related to you joining at the local, state, national, your MRED or MLS dues, and other voluntary contributions that go towards scholarships and helping communities and just beliefs that we have about the real estate industry. Okay. Our next question is question number 10. When do I need to renew my license? Good question, because you don't want to be on the other end of not renewing. So for brokers renew their license every 2 years on April or by April 30th of the even number year. So for example, we just came out of a broker renewal cycle unlike anyone I've ever seen before. So I won't use the last one because the date actually was extended due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I know right now we are in the first year of the renewal cycle for brokers. So they have until April 30th of 2022 to complete their either post-licensing. If you are a brand newly licensed individual, you have to complete 45 hours of post-licensing coursework. You are not doing continuing education. You're doing 45 hours of post-licensing coursework. If this isn't your first renewal, chances are you're going to be completing on or by April 30th of 2022, 12 hours of continuing education. That will include 4 hours of a core coursework, and then 8 hours of elective coursework, which could also include one of those 8 hours to be a sexual harassment course. At the Realtors Real Estate School, we offer it as a 2-hour duo and a 1 hour. So one specifically for sexual harassment and a 2-hour course for sexual harassment and prevention training. Okay? So brokers are April 30th of even number years. Managing brokers are April 30th of the odd number years. So this year, April 30th of 2021 will be the deadline date for managing brokers to renew their license. So they have 24 hours of coursework to complete of continuing education coursework, 12 hours to be a broker management course, 4 hours for core, 8 hours of elective coursework, and one of those hours could include that sexual harassment training course. For residential leasing agents, it follows the even years, but it's July 31st of even number years. So the next one will be July 31st of 2022. And it would be, they just made the change. I hope I get this right. I believe it's 8 hours of elective coursework now. Don't quote me, but I want to say it's 8 hours. It's either 8 or 9, but it's 8 hours. And one of those to include sexual harassment training. See the common bond in this? So that's when you'll be renewing your license. Next question. I can't see. What is the 45-hour post-licensing training? The 45-hour post-licensing training is for those individuals that are newly licensed as brokers. It would be the coursework that they need to complete to renew their license. And I need to type something in here, so hold on for me, because I know that there are 3 separate areas that you have to take for that post-licensing training. And those 3 separate areas include, let me get them for you guys. It's the first one is going to be, they're each 15 hours in length. So within the 3 areas, you're going to take transactional issues. That's your first part. The second part is risk management and discipline. And then the third part is the interactive piece, the applied broker principles course. Now, here's what I want to say about the 45-hour, because there's some rumors, some discussions, some just buzz that's going on about it, because this is the first time that the state is doing this. Keep in mind, there is an exam at the end of each part. So you'll take 3 exams. As a newly licensed broker, you must pass all 3 exams. You can't pass 2 and then the third one you fail and you continue to work. No. Your managing broker or sponsoring broker at that point in time will be responsible for your activities, your duties, your work. You are not eligible to continue in the capacity of a broker. So what I am hearing, a lot of students who have just recently earned their license are saying, well, let me just take this class right now. Let me just get it out of the way. I just went over the titles: risk management and discipline, applied broker principles, and the transactional issues. I don't really know how well you're going to do at that type of course if you have not spent time with being in the office, having an experience, maybe even closing a deal. So you want to make sure that out of the gate, you do your best the first time. Have as much exposure from an office level so that you can get some experience up under your belt before tackling this 45 hours. Remember, it's going to be due at the time your first renewal is due, which now will be April 30th of 2022. So you have some time. So I would probably gauge when it's best, or talk to your managing broker to determine when it would be best for you to take this course, because none of those managing brokers want to do your work. You've already established a relationship with your buyers and sellers. The last thing you want to do is have someone else come in and try to have to cultivate or pick up where you left off. That could cause your deal to go bad south. Okay? So let's look at the final, I believe I have 2 more. Designations and certifications. When do I start those? Often and right away is my answer to that when students ask. There are 3 that I know, as well as what we call a hot topic, that I usually refer to newly licensed individuals or those that have been licensed for some time when you're considering earning a first, second, or third designation or certifications. One is the Accredited Buyer Representative Program. That designation helps you to work effectively or better with buyers. The second one is the Seller Representative Specialist designation. Just like ABR, working with buyers, this one helps you effectively or improve your skill set working with sellers. And then the third one that I often recommend would be the Real Estate Negotiation Expert. Who doesn't want to kind of beef up or improve or dust off and clean up their negotiating skills? Because that's what predominantly you will be doing with this type of license, negotiating on behalf of others. You can also look at the Pricing Strategies Advisor certification to make sure that you're pricing your properties when you're listing them the right price, the best price for the first time, so that you're not having to keep doing or making price adjustments. The roadmap to a transaction is a hot topic course that usually I would refer to someone who's brand new to the industry to help them understand what the process looks like if you've never had a closing or never had a listing or never represented a seller and want to know what hiccups could actually occur and how to get back on track to save your transaction and to close your deal effectively. So those are just a few. This is the last question, I promise, and it's usually often asked to me from both those students that have been around some time and now have earned a license, as well as those that have been licensed for some time. How much can I make with a real estate license? Now, you know Lanora can't answer that, because we all know from a previous live or YouTube video I made that you determine how much you make by the efforts of your work. So that means you have to get out there and you have to establish those relationships and talk to people and present yourself in such a fashion as others that they would want to work with you. And then the sky is the limit, the stars, the moon, however far you want to go. I will never answer the question of how much can you make, because each person can be different. If you're putting a lot of hard work into this business, if you're taking it very seriously and realizing that you're helping your clients realize the American dream, then you can make as much money as you want to make. Don't let that stop you. But also don't let that be the first reason that you get into this business. Remember, we're about protecting families, protecting home ownership, making sure that the least of us that think that they can do it. So remember that when you're helping your clients. Some folks don't know if they can qualify for a loan. People don't know that they can purchase a home, that they can be an investor, that they can even start a career in real estate. Now you know. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Office Hours with Lanora. I've enjoyed coming every Wednesday during this month of January. I'm returning back to my normal schedule of 1 to 2 times per month. If you'd like to see more of me, let me know. Let me know what subjects you would like for me to discuss. Remember to like, share this page, like the Lanora RRES Facebook page, as well as the YouTube channel. Again, it's spelled LANORARRES. I look forward to seeing you all in February. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep remaining safe. And let's go out there and swing at this thing called real estate. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.